How did the United States, in less than 2.5 centuries, turn from small, poor colonies into the richest and most powerful country in the world? The answer is not just luck. It's a story of expansion, massive projects, and strategic wars, with decisions that often came at the expense of others. After declaring independence in 1776, the United States was a young nation relying mostly on farming, but it did not start on empty land. The areas it expanded into were home to Native Americans who were forced off their land, often violently. In 1803, the U.S. purchased Louisiana from France, doubling its size, yet this land was already home to thousands of people. This purchase gave the young nation space to grow, but it was a clear example of taking advantage of lands that were not originally theirs. The discovery of gold in California in 1848 brought waves of migration and investment. Cities like San Francisco grew almost overnight, and fortunes were made fast. But this boom came at the expense of the native population, many of whom were displaced or killed. At the same time, tensions between the industrial North and the agricultural South erupted into the American Civil War, 1861–1865. The war ended slavery, but the treatment of minorities and marginalized groups remained harsh, showing that progress often had a hidden cost. After the Civil War, the Industrial Revolution spread across the country. Railroads stretched thousands of miles, connecting the East Coast to the West, which helped open new lands for farming and factories. Cities like Chicago, Pittsburgh, and Detroit became industrial powerhouses. Heavy industries thrived, and men like Andrew Carnegie in steel, John Rockefeller in oil, and Henry Ford in automobiles built huge fortunes, often at the expense of the workers who endured long hours, low pay, and dangerous conditions. This period shows the dual nature of American progress, incredible economic growth paired with social inequality. During World War I, 1914–1918, America gained economically from Europe's crisis. While European industries struggled, the U.S. exported massive amounts of weapons, food, and other goods. Entering the war late in 1917, the U.S. avoided destruction on its own land, emerging as a major global lender and allowing the dollar to become a dominant currency. In 1929, the stock market crash triggered the Great Depression, leaving millions unemployed and homeless. President Roosevelt launched the New Deal, creating dams like Hoover Dam, building roads, and expanding electricity networks. While these projects helped the economy recover, they could not fully erase social inequalities, and discrimination against minorities and native communities continued. During World War II, 1939–1945, the United States became the factory of the world. Cities like Detroit produced thousands of vehicles daily, and shipyards on the East Coast built hundreds of ships for the Allies. At the same time, the U.S. developed the atomic bomb in the Manhattan Project, demonstrating its ability to use immense destructive power. After the war, Europe and Asia were in ruins, while the United States emerged with the strongest economy in the world, taking advantage of global destruction and enhancing its influence through the Marshall Plan, which rebuilt Europe but served American political and economic interests. During the Cold War, the U.S. expanded its military and technological power. The space race led to the historic 1969 moon landing, and universities and laboratories produced revolutionary inventions like computers, the internet, and nuclear energy. The interstate highway system connected cities and boosted trade. These achievements were impressive, yet they show that the U.S. often benefited from the struggles of others, both at home and abroad. After the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, the United States became the world's sole superpower. Giant companies like Microsoft, Google, Apple, and Amazon dominated the global economy, and the dollar became the main currency for international trade. The U.S. military remained unmatched, but this power was not always built on fairness. It was the result of expansion, exploitation, and strategic wars that reinforced global influence. The journey of the United States can be summed up in three main pillars: seizing natural resources, industrial and technological growth, and strategic use of major wars. These steps made it the richest country in just 2.5 centuries, yet its history is full of controversial decisions, especially regarding Native Americans and marginalized groups.